This is Dimitri Lascaris coming to you on, I think it's April 2nd, 2024. It's something like 2 in the morning. I'm at the airport in Doha, Qatar. Got off the flight from Baghdad a couple hours ago, and I'm on my way to Athens. I'm going to be grabbing a connecting flight in the morning. So I've got a few hours to kill here overnight. I decided after a month of traveling across the Middle East, it was quite an intense experience, very tiring, to go back to my house in Kalamata in the south of Greece to rest and recuperate. My trip is not necessarily over, however. I was told this morning, and this is when I decided to get on a plane and go back to Kalamata, that my application for an entry permit to the Ministry of Information of Yemen is still very much alive and under consideration, but that it might take another week before I have the answer of the Ministry of Information of Yemen. And the idea of living in a hotel room for another week was too much to bear. So I'm going home to one of my homes. The other one is in Montreal. And hopefully I'll get an answer from the Yemeni Ministry of Information soon that is positive, in which case I will go happily to Yemen. It's something I really have wanted to do ever since the Yemeni people rose to the occasion like no one else to try to stop the slaughter in Gaza. So I'll keep you posted on the progress of my efforts to get into the country of Yemen. In the interim, the main reason why I wanted to chat with you all while I'm waiting for my flight in the morning was that the experience of departing from the airport in Baghdad, I can only describe it as otherworldly. I saw levels of security at that airport that boggled the mind. And I'll try to summarize it for you as quickly as I can. About 10 kilometers from the airport, there's a checkpoint. And they stop you at the checkpoint, and they require you to show proof that you are taking a flight from Baghdad and that you have a proper travel document. Then, if they're satisfied, they let you proceed. You go down the road further towards the airport. About 2 or 3 kilometers later, there's another checkpoint. And at that checkpoint, you are required to get out of your vehicle with your baggage, enter a small building on the side of the road, and put your belongings through an X-ray machine and go through a metal detector. If you pass that test, they then allow you to proceed down the road, where you encounter a third checkpoint. At that checkpoint, you have to get out of the car with your luggage again. This time, they subject your luggage to inspection by a bomb-sniffing dog. So then, if you pass that test, you get back in your vehicle with your luggage, and you arrive at the terminal. You get off the car, and before they allow you to enter the terminal, you have to be inspected again, you and your luggage, by a bomb-sniffing dog. If you pass that test, you can enter the terminal, except that there's another X-ray machine and metal detector at the entrance to the terminal. So you go through that thing. Now you're in a kind of large lounge area, but you can't yet access the check-in gates. They are segregated from the lounge area that you enter into when you actually walk through the exterior door into the terminal. So to get to the check-in gate, what do you have to do? You have to go through another metal detector and put your baggage through another X-ray machine. And they check your passport. Then you get into the line, waiting to check in. And as you're standing there waiting to check in, someone comes up and checks your passport again. Then you get to the check-in desk, and of course, as is customary, they require you to show your passport. Once you've checked in, you have to go to immigration. before you go through security to enter the area where the boarding gates are. And of course, at immigration, following check-in, they check your passport. Then you go through the standard security review, where they have x-ray machines and metal detectors, and somebody yet again checks your passport. So now you're beyond security, you're looking for your gate, you find it. The problem is you can't get to your gate, you can't actually board your plane without going through yet another x-ray machine and another metal detector and another inspection of your passport. Now you're in the boarding lounge and they call you because the bus has shown up to take you out to your airplane, and before they let you onto your bus, they look at your damn passport again. Then you get to your plane and you're walking up the stairs, and when you enter the aircraft, they look at your damn passport again. And then when I finally got to my seat going through all of these various layers of security, it just occurred to me, it hit me like a ton of bricks. You know, they could check your passport 20 times instead of 10. They could run you through an x-ray machine and a metal detector 10 times instead of 5, or whatever the hell it was. That's not going to make the Iraqi people any more safe than they already are. No number of passport checks and passages through x-ray machines and metal detectors and inspections by bomb-sniffing dogs is going to appreciably improve the security of the people of Iraq. What will improve dramatically the security of the people of Iraq is for the damn American occupier to get the hell out of the country. And that's the one damn thing that the Americans will not do. Anyways, since I had some time to kill here and was still reeling from this insane security protocol, I decided to do a little research into who's managing the security at that airport, because my guide and new friend, Hussein Baroud, whom I interviewed while I was in Baghdad, he's the elected representative or spokesperson of the Iraqi movement for the Belt and Road Initiative. And if you haven't seen my interview of him, I suggest you do. It's on YouTube, and it's, if not on my website, it will be shortly, because he has a very interesting perspective, and one you're not going to hear in the Western media, about what is happening in Iraq today and how they got there. Anyways, he told me, he drove me to the airport, and as we were going through this morass of security, he said, "Guess who runs the airport?" I said, "Who?" He said, "The British." The British? You mean the ones who participated in the illegal criminal war of aggression against Iraq? The one that killed hundreds of thousands of Iraqis, perhaps over 1 million of them? Yeah, the British. So, as I had nothing to do here, waiting for my flight to Athens, I did a little research, and in fact, it is the case that up until recently, the notorious British security company G4S had the contract for the security, management of the security at the Baghdad Airport, except they were ousted. That's the word that an online publication that covers corruption used. There's a December 2023 article which talks about this. They were ousted for unspecified reasons, and they were replaced by another Western company. But this one is Canadian. And the remarkable thing about this Canadian company, it's called Business Intel, is that its owner, who's an Afghan Canadian, whom I've never heard of before, his name escapes me, appears to have no prior experience. I shouldn't say owner, he was identified in the article as the CEO. He runs the company. He may also be the owner, but I'm not sure that that's the case. Anyways, he appears to have no prior experience in managing security at airports. In fact, it's not clear that he has any experience whatsoever in security. And all of this came to light when he stopped paying his employees. This December 2023 article says, quotes various employees saying, "We haven't been paid in months. And not only have we not been paid in months, but when he's shown up at the airport and we've consulted with him about how to deal with various securities issues, he goes on Google and looks for the answer. there just seems to be no end to the abuse and exploitation that Western governments and corporations are heaping upon the people of Iraq. And so I say it again, the conclusion that I reached after my brief but enriching stay there with this noble people is that the greatest favor that we can do to them, the greatest service that we can render, is to force our governments and our militaries and our corporations to get the hell out and let the Iraqi people determine their own future according to their own aspirations. It's Dimitri Lascaris on April 2nd, 2024.